And it's both.
Oh man, I really wish that I could make animations like these.
Do you want to learn how to make animations?
Yeah. Wait, who the hell just said that?
Well, if you want to learn how to make animations, you're in the right place. I'm the manager of the multiverse, and today we're gonna learn how to make animations. Or at least how I make them. On this episode, we'll be learning all the steps to produce an animated video. And these steps are concept, writing, storyboarding, voice acting, and animating. But before we start, allow me to take a smaller, cuter, and lower budget form so the person animating this video doesn't die in the process. That's much better. I can move freely now. Whee! The first step to make an animation is to come up with a concept. It could be just a little scene you imagine, or a full-length episode. It only depends on what you want and what you're physically and psychologically able to do. For this episode, we'll make this little scene where Choko tells Nonnie and James that he can do a cartwheel. Nonnie doesn't believe him, then Choko tries to do it. Now that we have a concept, we can move on to the next step, writing. To organize what each character will say and what happens in the story, you need to write a script. It's one of the most important steps of creating an animation, or any other type of medium actually. Though I can't really teach you how to write a good script, because that's not a skill you can learn in just one video, I can teach you the basics of script writing. For this example, I'll be using this video script. The first thing you have to do in writing a scene is doing the scene heading, which is this little thing at the top of the script. Here is the place where you describe the key points of your scene. First, you set if your scene is int, internal, or ext, external. Then, you tell where the scene takes place. In this case, it takes place on someone's room. Then, you say if it's day or night. After that, you can start writing actions and dialogues. For dialogues, you write the name of the character you want to speak, in uppercase. You skip a line, then you write their lines. Oh, and this VO here is for voiceover. You use it when the character speaking is out of the scene or it's narrating the scene. If you want to end the scene and start another one, you write cut to in the right lower corner, skip a line, and make the scene header for the next scene. Of course, there's much more to learn on script writing, and there are lots of good videos about it on the internet, so I strongly recommend you to learn more about it after you finish this one. The next step on the list is storyboarding. This is also a pretty important part, as it will guide you on how and what to draw on every scene. For this part, I decided to call my wonderful assistant, Ariel.
Oh, thanks, sir. A storyboard is like a comic strip that shows the main scenes of your animation. It helps you plan the story visually before creating the actual animation. For that, you'll just need to identify the main parts of the scene you've written and draw them. That will help you have a better notion of what your scene will look like. This step is very important because...
Bet if I slit your throat, then you'll remember.
What happened? Are the cameras back?
Yes, sir. I think it's that problem with the teleportation chip.
I really have to get this fixed. We're sorry for the inconvenience. We were having some minor technical issues. Now, for the next step on our guide, we have voice acting. The process of voice acting is, in theory, pretty simple. After you finish writing your script, you send it to your voice actors, and, in case you are also the voice director, you direct them and tell them how you want them to act in certain parts of the scene. There's definitely more to it, but we're just talking about the basics here. And last but not least, the most important part of all this, the animation. Here is where we'll put everything together and actually animate all the scenes. The way I do it is by adding all the audio files to the project on my animation software, then add the images of the storyboards and sync them with the audio. After that, I make a rough animation so I can have a better basis to start the cleanup. Then I paint everything, which is the worst part of this job. And after all this work, we have the final result. Hey guys, I can do a cartwheel! You can't. But I can! Then prove it. Of course, there are more things to talk about, such as backgrounds, but since I don't have that much property to talk about it, I decided to keep it out of this video. Anyways, I really hope you liked this episode, and I also hope it inspired you to start a new animation. So, I see you in the next episode.